This is FIU Panther Talk on Bally Sports Florida. It was a notable week on the hardwood for the Blue and Gold. On Thursday, the first win against Marshall since 2015. And then on Saturday, a thrilling game that came down to the wire against Western Kentucky. Winning plays and clutch shooting all throughout the second half led to one of the most fun finishes in years and obligatory locker room celebrations. Good spirits for FIU after a sensational week on the court. Welcome into FIU Panther Talk. Great to be with head coach Jeremy Ballard. I'm AJ Ricketts. Coach, it was the closest thing, that scene you just saw, to a Gatorade shower. As close as this could be. Good times in that locker room. A really fun week for you guys.
Yeah, that's one of those unforgettable moments that sports is really about the only thing that can bring that into life. So that was awesome to be a part of, and really appreciative of the guys.
And that was after the Western Kentucky game. We'll speak about that one in just a moment, but let's start with 1 week ago against Marshall. The Herd had been a tough team to take down in the last few years, always successful in Conference USA, able to pick up a 70-66 win against Marshall. Coach, what was the emphasis heading into that game? We had a tough start in conference play ourselves. We knew this was going to be an important week. What was the emphasis that week in practice as we got set to take on Marshall, who had the leading scorer in conference play in Tavion Kinsey?
Well, while I do adhere to the old Bill Parcells adage that you are what your record is, I do feel that our conference record wasn't indicative of how we played and what our approach has been. And I felt like we played extremely hard the previous week at UAB in Middle Tennessee. UAB obviously is a great opponent and preseason champ for a reason. And, Middle, we just literally had one of those, I think once in every couple of years offensive performances where we couldn't make anything. But our effort was there, our approach was there, our attitude was there. And, we came back to practice this week and we're just really focused on being the best version of ourselves and putting in all the time we needed to do to be successful. And, we were hungry to go against Marshall. We haven't beaten Marshall since we've been here. And as you mentioned, proud program and very talented, one of the most talented teams in the conference. So our guys were really hungry, played some great defense. I thought our bench stepped up and our depth was really a factor in that game.
In that game, senior Cleavon Brown was a huge factor, particularly scoring the basketball in the first half. He finished with 16 points, 11 rebounds, his second double-double of the season. His seventh game in double figures would have been the first time since December 15th he found himself in double figures. But what a factor in that game. You relied on him early. You kept going inside. How important was he in that game, and how has he contributed this season and will continue to do so?
Yeah, well, he's a factor for us each and every night, and he's such an unselfish person and an unselfish teammate. He has unbelievable toughness and IQ, and he really does whatever the team needs every single day. And that Marshall game really showed what he's capable of doing on the offensive end when he's confident and aggressive. And I mean, we were really feeding him. I mean, we were going to him and playing through him. And he, to his credit, he kept delivering for us, making plays for himself, creating shots for others, and so we were really proud of that. But anyone that's around this program knows that Cleavon Brown puts in work every single day. He is a tireless worker. He's an awesome teammate, so it was great to see him have that kind of offensive success for that game. But, he's a factor for us at every game on both ends of the floor.
We talked about Brown's contributions there throughout the game, particularly scoring in the first half. In the second half, a 12-1 run helped FIU take control, and that was sparked in part by your sophomore guard, Javante Hawkins. He scored 17 in the game. 13 of those were in the second half, including an electric back-to-back sequence, I think 2 threes in a span of 45 seconds, and that got the crowd off its feet. He had a terrific game. How important is he when he comes off the bench to that second unit and when he's knocking down shots? It's like you're not coming back to the bench when you're knocking him down like that.
Yeah, well, he plays such an important role in what we do. He's a versatile player offensively. Obviously, he can make shots and he can really get hot from three, but he's an excellent ball handler. He has really good vision. He has awesome IQ, and he has the IQ and feel of a future coach. I'm not sure if that's what he wants to do, but he just has a great feel for the game. And when he's really locked in and confident and aggressive, he just gives us such a lift when he comes in off the game. And it doesn't matter who starts. You tell these guys all the time, and I know everyone wants to hear their name called in the starting lineup. I get that, but it's about who finishes, and it's about who contributes whenever they get their name called. And he did that for us in that game at an extremely high level. Made huge shots for us down the stretch, and played with great energy and emotion as well.
We mentioned this player a few minutes ago, Tavion Kinsey from Marshall, leads Conference USA in scoring at 20 points per game, and he's had plenty of solid moments against us in the past and helping Marshall pick up some wins. But Coach, in that game Thursday, he did not have a field goal the final 11 minutes, 50 seconds down the stretch. And I think Eric Lovett was marking him most of that time, but whether it was Lovett or the team defensive effort, how awesome was that to see them lock him down? He finished with 25 points, but took him 16 shots to get there and a lot of free throws as well. How pleased were you with Lovett and the team's defensive performance on Kinsey in the final 12 minutes?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, Kinsey's leading scorer in the league. He's probably the top NBA draft prospect in our league as well. So, your hands are always going to be full when you have him. And, Eric Lovett really took it upon himself to be determined and do everything it took to try to get stops for him and make him work for everything that he did. I thought the team's focus and concentration on, really shifting and shading towards him when he had the ball helped. But, I was really proud of Eric because, it wasn't a high-scoring outing for him, right. But he did what the team needs, and that's what it's all about. Isaiah Banks also had a lot of great individual defensive moments on Kinsey as well, but I thought our depth was a factor of that game. Kinsey played all 40 minutes. Right. And, there were some times in that first half where he was kind of unguardable. And I just thought we kept making him work. And, down the stretch, I thought fatigue set in for him a little bit.
One more point on Marshall before he transitioned over to Western Kentucky. You have a great relationship with their head coach, Dan D'Antoni. I remember reading an article when he took this job. I think he gave him a phone call just to pick his brain about his tempo and his style. Let's not forget, it's not the banner season for Marshall they're typically used to, but it was just a few years ago. They were the second round of the NCAA tournament, making noise with John Elmore there. They've been a consistent program under D'Antoni. How are we able to get over that hump? And it's cool to see that relationship with you and Coach D'Antoni and all the success they've had. We were able to get over that hump this week.
Yeah, what actually started, I was an assistant coach at Pitt, and we played Marshall, and I had the scout. And I was just really intrigued and enamored with how they played offensively. And I remember telling myself, if I ever got a chance to be a head coach, that I'd like to play like this on the offensive end. Right. So I was really intrigued then. I would pick his brain whenever I could and really studied a lot of their film, after I took this job. And we've done a lot of things, that they do concept-wise. Obviously, we put our own spin on things, and we've evolved in our own ways over the years here. But I have a great deal of respect for Coach D'Antoni as a coach and also as a person. But, this was big for us. Marshall's been one of the banner programs in this league, and he's a great coach. They've had great players. So we were really thrilled to play the way that we did and get the outcome that we achieved.
Yeah, a lot of fun during that 70-66 win. When we come back, we'll talk about the victory 2 days later against Western Kentucky. 86-83 came down to the wire for Eric Lovett in the corner with a big shot to help propel FIU to the win. As we go to break, we'll show you some of the top plays, though, against Marshall from Thursday's 4-point victory. We'll be back after this on FIU Panther Talk on Valley Sports Florida.
So that really hurt him in that game.
Brewer from the outside.
After that screen, key screen, Brewer. Brown helped off and contested that shot.
Nice step through from Isaiah Banks. Did a great job.
True, three-point shooting not working. Let's see if this one does.
On cue there. Cleavon Brown. Finds it open. Smart steps into this. FIU needed that. Aquan Smart's first basket.
I haven't been hitting anything, and then a pass ends up going in.
Smart lays it in on the other end for two. Well, you got it back, though. Hawkins after all that. Yes. Smart coast to coast. Hawkins lines it up. Yes. Hawkins. Heat check. Buried it. 5-point lead for FIU. Panther lead. A good pass. Brewer to Brown. Timeout Marshall.
Where he was just looking for a lob and it ended up going in.
Oh, Pickney sends it away.
Pegasus, the divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Knicks go. Racing, the thunder and the lightning on the track, energy in the stands. Vibe, fashion, entertainment, all for one.
At Williamson Cadillac, your car buying experience will be the perfect balance of luxury and sophistication. We're innovating every day to ensure a streamlined car buying process for our customers. Our lineup of Cadillacs are setting new standards in luxury, from the unmistakable crossover series to our sedans that are dedicated to performance, plus the original Icon and newly redesigned Cadillac Escalade. View our entire inventory at WilliamsonCadillac.com. Williamson is Miami.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
We saw some in the open. Why not some more footage of the scenes in the locker room after one of the most fun games of the season, an 86-83 win over Western Kentucky. Coach, did you know what you were doing at that point? It looked very in the moment, those dance moves. It's got to be as fun a moment as a coach as it gets.
Yeah, it was just an awesome opportunity.
Remind me of the Old Dominion. You weren't on a chair in this one after the Old Dominion win, but it still looks fun.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I didn't expect it. The guys all, doused me with the water, and they cut the music on. So, I tried to hit them with the old man gritty a little bit, and, it wasn't very good, but
I don't think anybody cares.
The feeling was great. So we had a great time in there.
A 3-point victory against Western Kentucky. Coach, we had just played them 2 weeks ago. It was a competitive game. We weren't able to get that run we needed in the second half to kind of get back into it. It was a 13-point loss, but competitive throughout. So heading into this one, at home, had a great crowd on hand. What was the emphasis 2 weeks later to try to flip the script?
Yeah, again, I don't feel like our record and the results from the first couple of weeks were very indicative of who we are and how we were competing and who we were eventually going to become. So we took confidence from breaking down that film and that we were really in that game. And, if we tweaked some things and improved in some areas, that we'd have a great chance to win. And we really wanted to focus on not giving them a whole bunch of easy baskets. We gave them over 30 points of layups and dunks at their place. And, we just wanted to make them have to work to score every time down. And they're extremely talented. They have very gifted offensive players. Coach Stansbury is a great coach. They run great actions. So it's not like you're ever going to hold them scoreless, but we feel that we made them work by and large for all of their baskets. And we feel like we had a great plan on the offensive end. And our guys just really bought into sharing the ball, keeping the ball hot, touching the paint multiple times, driving and kicking, and not settling for okay or decent shots, and really fighting to get great shots.
Well, you set the tone with a 10-0 run to start the game. The team led by as many as 18 points in that first half. What I thought was one of the most impressive aspects when Western Kentucky switched to a 2-3 zone and did not phase the team whatsoever. As you said, good shots to great shots. They're making that extra pass. Was that probably the most impressive aspect to you, or what stood out of taking that 18-point lead early on of how you were able to do that?
Just our approach. The guys followed the plan. I thought the coaching staff, the assistant coaches did a great job scouting Western Kentucky and had a great plan, and our guys followed it. And they were ready to play from the opening tip and ready to attack and really do what we needed to do to try to be successful on both ends. And once we were sharing the ball and made some shots from some good looks we created. I think the crowd, who was electric, got into the game and really helped fuel us to get that 18-point lead.
Let's go over that last sequence where Tevin Brewer is able to navigate his way into the lane and find Lovett with all the space he needed in the corner. I think he set a double screen up top near the perimeter and that allowed Tevin to go downhill. And whenever he gets inside the perimeter, he's so creative. He's dangerous in terms of distributing the basketball anywhere. What were you trying to set up on that sequence to develop that look for Eric Lovett?
Well, I just think it's You know, you look at Tevin Brewer, he is without a doubt, you know, one of the most dangerous players in the league with the ball in his hands. He's an extremely clutch player, and it's a testament to him that, you know, we put the ball in his hands to go make a play. He's been playing awesome all game long, played awesome against Marshall, and yet he was unselfish enough, confident enough in his teammates to, you know, pass it to someone else who was more open and pass up an okay to good shot to get a great shot for Eric Lovett. And, you know, we wanted to try to get their defense on the move, try to get them in rotation, get Tevin Brewer in the lane and make it and allow him to make the read, and that's what he did. And, you know, credit to Eric Lovett, he stepped up and made a big shot, and he's made a lot of big shots in his FIU career, and he's had a number of game winners in his FIU career. So it really speaks to basketball. You know, you mentioned earlier Marshall game, Eric Lovett's defense. He didn't score much against Marshall. I'm not even sure what he scored.
I think just 2 points in that game. 2 points over the last 3 games before, yeah.
But he helped us win because of his defense and his effort and his attitude. And then Saturday, you know what? The game called for him stepping up and scoring a lot of points. He scored 20. So that's what it may be. You know, no one's going to score 20 points a game for us every game. There's very few players in the country that score 20 points a game. Right. But you just got to do what the team needs each and every game. And the only stat that matters is the win-loss column and FIU getting the win.
And to that point, to expand on it just a bit, you mentioned, you know, you felt the early league record was not indicative of the talent on this team. Individually for Eric Lovett, I don't think his shooting numbers recently were indicative of the talent that he brings. He was 1 for 12 over the last 3 games, but certainly everyone here had seen, you know, what he brings to the table. You know, how awesome as a coach is it to see, you know, he's able to get through that stretch. And then he had a 3-game stretch in conference play where he was contributing. It came to a little more inconsistency, but he knew another game like this, his number would be called. How awesome is that to see that he can bounce back after a tough set of games, just like the team has been able to?
Well, all the public sees is, you know, what happens in the 40 minutes of action for the game. All they see is the stats after the game, the box score. What they don't see is all the work these young men are putting in to try to produce out there on the court. And even in some of these games when Eric's shots weren't falling the way that he's capable of them falling, he was putting in the work, putting in the extra time with the coaches, putting in the extra film work for this moment. And he was prepared for this moment. You know, no one lost confidence or faith in him. And that there's no better demonstration of that than that final play and Tevin Brewer getting into the paint and, you know, certainly an opportunity where he was capable of scoring, and yet he believed in his teammate enough to kick it to him and make that shot.
That was an awesome game, a terrific home stretch for FIU. As we get set to head to Texas now, Thursday night game against UTSA as we preview Steve Henson's squad, the former NBA player now leading the Roadrunners. Having a tough season, 7-13, 0-7 in Conference USA play. They're coming off a pair of losses to UTEP this past week. Still a number of dangerous players to watch out for. 3 players in double figures this season. Top 2 returners in Jordan Ivy Curry and Jacob Germany will certainly be 2 guys to keep an eye on. They gave us trouble last year in Miami. Thank goodness they don't have Javon Jackson anymore, but what do you keep an eye on when you look at the scout of UTSA?
Yeah, we're not worried about the record. You know, that 0-7 means nothing. Marshall's now 0-7, and any coach in this league will tell you they're as dangerous as anyone, right, and to watch out for them. We were 0-4 going into this past weekend, and I think coaches will tell you FIU is dangerous. You know, don't mind that record. So, and plus we're going to their home court. They're going to be starving to get a win. Coach Henson's a great coach. He does great things on the offensive end, and you know, really does a great job of game planning on both sides of the ball. So, you know, we know it's going to be tough. We haven't won there in San Antonio, and we're hungry to try to change that, and we're hungry to try to prove ourselves on the road.
And win or lose, it doesn't get any easier. You take the flight over to El Paso to face a UTEP team that has had a good amount of success this season. UTEP 11-8. They're coming off 3 straight wins. We mentioned the pair against UTSA. UTEP, the Miners, 7-4 at home. They've taken down Old Dominion on the road as well. Redshirt junior guard Sully Boom, I feel like he's been there forever now. He still has another year, I suppose, if he wants. He's averaging 18 a game, and he has 20-plus points in 7 games this season. He's certainly one of the best scorers in Conference USA. A lot of history over there in El Paso, just around the Haskins Center. What's important to keep an eye on with UTEP?
Well, I think probably all the coaches in the league would say this is the toughest road swing, and that's obvious because of logistical reasons and, you know, San Antonio and El Paso, but it's also one of the toughest swings because these are two quality programs, and it's hard to win at these two places. And, you know, UTEP is obviously a storied program, a national championship program. They have a great home court environment and atmosphere. Coach Golding's done a really good job in his first year there, so it's going to be really tough. They have offensive firepower, as you mentioned, in Sully Boom. They compete extremely hard on the defensive end. So we have our hands full this weekend, but you know, hopefully they can walk away thinking they have their hands full with FIU as well.
All right, Coach, coming up on midway through the league season, we got through our postponements or whatever in December like many teams in college basketball did. Every year will have its peaks and valleys, but 2 huge wins last week. Where do you feel the team is right now as it gets set for another important week here in the Lone Star State?
Yeah, we just got to keep building, and you know, we want this. Hopefully, this past weekend is a springboard to who we can be. You know, there's as well as we played this weekend, there's still so many things that we can get better at, and that's a great thing. You know, we're nowhere near what the potential can be for this team, but I'm just so proud of how they're committing, how they're sacrificing, how they're playing for each other, and we're just excited for this week.
Hopefully more water bottle showers to come in the near future. Good times all around. Coach, appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us. Yep, this is Jeremy Ballard here on FIU Panther Talk. We head to break with some more scenes and highlights from the 86-83 win over Western Kentucky. Back after this on FIU Panther Talk on Valley Sports.
4 in a row. Brewer gets the floater to drop from just outside the block. A nice start. Margin of victory by double figures as Seth Pickney finds his way.
Absolutely, against a very good Western Kentucky team.
Smart will lob it to Sanogo with a one-handed flush.
Schedule so far in conference play, their 3 conference losses are to teams that are a combined 14-5.
Back and forth we go. Here's Smart into the corner. Hawkins sets it up. Hawkins knocks it down. Kicks it to the corner. Lovett. Here's 3. Yes! Eric Lovett puts FIU in front. Timeout on the floor. One of the biggest shots of Eric Lovett's career.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless Bright Future scholarships so Florida students can do more than just dream of a brighter future. They can create one. Learn more at flalottery.com.
Hello, I'm the Good Greek Spiro, and I have some very exciting news. Good Greek Moving and Storage is launching our Welcome Home program. Book your next move with Good Greek and you will receive our housewarming package, which includes gift cards valued at over $1,000, along with a neighborhood guide as you discover your new favorite local businesses. For the best move ever and to receive your exclusive gift offer, visit goodgreek.com and welcome home.
Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
As much as it hurts, to lose athletes, especially with ones that have been with you for, 4 or 5 years, like some of them have been, it's part of the process. It's part of what we do. Preparing them for life, preparing them to graduate, move on, do great things, whether it be grad school, professionally, get jobs, move on, have families. That's what we're here for.
Today was a very emotional day. It was very special. Everyone, just not the super seniors and the seniors made it special, but the entire team. The energy was so up. It was amazing to see my teammates go and race so fast with their heart.
Definitely, I expected this moment to be very emotional, but while I was going through the tunnel, all I felt was very grateful for this opportunity, very grateful that I got to share these 5 years with my teammates. And yeah, I love the opportunity to be here, and I was definitely feeling chills for sure, but it was amazing and something I will never forget.
We really didn't know what we would see today. It's been a month since we competed. The last time we competed, weren't very sharp, didn't feel like we were very good as a team. But today was senior day. The team really came and rallied together for the seniors, sent them off in style. They're tired, they shouldn't be swimming fast right now, but they did. They did some things today that, surprised us, but then didn't, because we got an amazing group of ladies. They're doing some good things, and I think, when we start to get a little bit of rest in the next month, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what we can do, and we're ready to go fast.
It was definitely amazing to see everyone, racing at their peak performances. And yeah, basically everyone really raced with their hearts, everyone gave their best, everyone was competitive, and definitely have really high goals that we're ready to accomplish.
This team is the fastest and the best team we ever had at FIU, and it's my 5th year, so I can say that. And I really think we're gonna win the USA conference, and we're actually gonna do very great things.
That'll wrap things up for this week's edition of FIU Panther Talk here on Bally Sports Florida. From all of us here at FIU, I'm AJ Ricketts. Pause up, fam. We'll see you next Thursday.
The divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Knicks go. Racing, the thunder and the lightning on the track, energy in the stands. Vibe, fashion, entertainment, all for one.
At Williamson Cadillac, your car buying experience will be the perfect balance of luxury and sophistication. We're innovating every day to ensure a streamlined car buying process for our customers. Our lineup of Cadillacs are setting new standards in luxury, from the unmistakable crossover series to our sedans that are dedicated to performance, plus the original Icon and newly redesigned Cadillac Escalade. View our entire inventory at WilliamsonCadillac.com. Williamson is Miami.